All right. Now, selecting this face here, okay, and now using features, we're going to look at using or inserting a plane. So this is out of the reference geometry. All right. So we can use any face of the model to create single or multiple planes. In this case, we're going to create one plane. Okay. And you can see we're using just the face as the reference. We're going to create just one, and this is the dimension. Now, when I look at my sketch, okay, I've got two values. And what we could do here is, you can see I can use simple math. So 1.25 plus 0.563. So I can use those two dimensions to add up a result. There it is. Now, it's not the right direction, and I can change that by flipping it. And that's going to be my midplane. Okay? So if I click OK, now I can adjust it. Now again, this is just the midplane here, and to start the feature, I'm going to offset another one by half an inch. Okay? So once again, I can use not only a face, but I can use other reference geometry, like a plane, to create yet another plane. All right? So this is just going to be 0.5, and I'm going to flip it because we'll work on the other one. Or actually, you know what? No. Let's work on this face. It'll be easier, right? We're facing that direction. So this is the actual plane that I'm going to work on with my sketches. Plane 1 is going to be the plane that I use to mirror the features. All right, so how do I start a sketch? I can select a face or a plane, use the pop-up palette, and select sketch. Also, I can come over here and make myself normal to the sketch just by using a right click or doing a single click, a left click on the name. So here's the origin, right? And now you can see our little boss extrusion here on our base. And working with this profile here, let's create this contour. Okay, so we know we've got 2 inches for the center of a 150 diameter. Okay, we have sides here that we can assume are tangent. All right, so here we are. Again, you can see the origin. We can establish a center line if we like. Why not? Let's go to sketch and use center line. Projecting from the origin, creating a vertical construction line, and escape. Now, somewhere along that line, right, we should make coincident the center of our diameter. I'm just creating a quick sketch and now using smart dimension to establish the dimension of that diameter, which is 150. Now remember, if you have to show radius or diameter, the easiest way to change this is to simply right-click over the dimension, and you could change the display. All right, so we got the 150, and now we've got 2 edges, right? This is where we can use that reference line, right? This center line. We can use it for dynamic mirroring, right? We've got mirror here. Where's our dynamic mirror? I don't see it right now. Not a problem. Here's what we could do. We'll come back to it. First, we can establish some lines. So I'm just going to establish a line way out here, as you can see. First, I'm going to make it vertical. Okay. Now, I just used escape. What I want to do here is create a relation. So the easiest way to create a relation is to do Control Select, Control Select. Those are the 2 things I want to relate. Over in the Properties palette, you'll be able to see there what are the potential relations you can create. Here I'm going to do tangent. There it is. All right? If we had dynamic mirror, what we could do with that is we could create the other side at the same time. Now I got to trim. So I'm going to trim here. Let's do our trim to closest. Okay. Something doesn't look right here. Okay. And I'm just starting to see it right now. And it looks like the dimension for my feature here. But that's okay. We'll be able to fix it in just a second. All right. So what I'll do here now is using mirror entities, using this guy right here as my mirror line. Okay. This is my mirror line here, and the entity I'm going to mirror is going to be this line. Now we'll be able to trim this circular portion. All right, so take a look here, right? I guess this width here should actually be 150 as well. All right, so let's go back and fix that. So we can leave our sketch the way it is for right now. And let's go back to this feature to fix it. All right, so before we continue, I guess while we were sketching here, we could see that maybe some of these dimensions weren't done correctly, because I can see our base should actually be 150, and I didn't complete all the dimensions for our circular sketch for its size and its location. So let's go back. I actually think this is a good experience, because it teaches us how to go back and be able to modify our features and sketches. So what we're talking about here is this boss extrude, and what's driving this is this sketch. So if I go back in the design tree and I select the sketch, let's go back and edit it, and over here you can see this is the dimension. It should actually be 150, right? And then now here we can do our 150 divided by 2, for example. Or we could even use the distance dimension. So that's how we get it centered. Once we save the sketch and rebuild the feature, we can use this button right here to rebuild the entire model. Make sure that there are no mistakes in rebuilding. Okay? And then as we proceed, now you can see our sketch here, which we'll go back to. All right, now that's looking better. We've got, let's see, what's this dimension? That's the diameter. So we got that. Now we need the position. So we'll go to the center here, to the bottom of the base, and pull out a smart dimension to establish that at 2. And I think that does the corrections, no? All right. Now, we've got open profile. And if these lines were drawn correctly, they should intersect with the line that is collinear with this edge too, right? But instead of drawing a line, here's something else I could do. This is where we could actually borrow from existing geometry. So look at this. If I select an edge here in this face, in this plane, I could actually project that same face, or that same line onto another sketch. That's called convert entities. So if I pre-select the edge and use convert entities, now you can see it's projected that face, that edge, directly onto the same sketch plane that I'm working. Now I can zoom in and you can see we could clean it up. So this would be a closed profile. Hopefully. What happened there? Let's see. Let's diagnose. What happened here? Oh, we've got an overdefined sketch. No problem. We'll delete it. Done. Okay, so now there's our closed sketch. Now we can do our extrude, and that's going to be at, what is that, 0.625. So if we take a look here, right, we've got an overall with the boss. We've got an overall of 0.75 minus the 0.125. We've got 0.625, right? So here I go to Features, Extrude, into the numeric value 0.625. Okay. Now, we can continue here on this face. All right. And what I'll do here is create a sketch. Now, notice when I go to sketches and I start with circle, notice how I come over to the edge here and I can easily detect the center. Well, it's going to be the same dimension, right? So I can just be coincident with the edge. And I can take a look here at my properties to confirm the value. All right, escape that. Now this is just a boss extrusion of 0.125. So let's go back to features and do the extruded boss. This should be 0.125. Notice again too that you want to always merge the results. If you do not merge results, you'll get separate bodies, which at some point would be good if that's the intent. But here everything's going to be a one body, a merged result. All right, we got that. Now we need the hole through, right? Again, I'm using the face, creating a sketch on that face. Now, because it's a circular hole, once again, if I hover right over the edge, I can snap to the center, sketch my circle, then use Smart Dimension to actually place a circle of diameter 0.75. Okay, and this is a hole through. So if I go features, and now I use extrude cut, we're going in the opposite direction. Now, one thing I would like to think about here is if I have changes to my model here, I want to think of design intent, right? I'm cutting through the entire feature. So this is where I want to look at end condition, right? If the thickness changes, right, and I use up to surface, I can select the back face here. So no matter if the boss changes or if this extrude changes, it'll always cut through the whole thing, right? And there we go. All right, so one of the last features here include the weep hole, which I'm going to use the, basically I could use any of these faces here and create a plane that cuts through this hole here so I can create a profile to cut through the top half of that. So if I start with the face, using features to create another plane here, all right, we can move this up. Let's say, let's bring it up to 1. Or we could even do like 1.25 or something like that. And now that I have that plane, I'll create a sketch and get normal to that sketch. Let's do this. Okay. And then over here, we'll create a circular sketch. Again, we want it to be centered with the rest of the part here using the origin. So I'm just going to project right now. I'm just going to project. I'm not going to worry about trying to create a center line there right now. So that's centered, and then what we'll do is use a smart dimension. Okay, we'll make that diameter 0.125. Now you can see in an isometric view here, we can project the cut extrude using features. And this is where we could just use blind. Okay, as long as we go through. But again, another one that we could do is up to surface. Okay, and so you can see since we're going in one direction, we've got the top surface there. All right, now you can see that there's actually one thing here that needs to be corrected, and that's our base. So based on our erroneous calculations here that we've since resolved, we've added just a slight bit of material on the base there by 0.125, and we're going to fix that right now. All right, so what we need to do here is go back to our base feature and actually take a look at our sketch. If I edit that sketch, what I need to do is I need to reduce this length to actually 2. Because I added on material that did not need to be there. Now, that also means that it's not only 0.563 from this face, but it's an additional 0.125 inches. There we go. So now, when we take a look at our feature, right, that's what we expect to see. Now, to finish it, what we're going to do here is you'll notice that basically our flange consists of our cut, extrude 4, 3, 4, or is that 3 there? And I think that's it. Now, we can use plane 1 as our mirroring plane. So these are the features I'm going to mirror. And so here's the features, and the face I'm going to use to mirror is going to be plane 1. There's our preview right there. I click OK. Let's see if everything's fine. And it's apparently not. Oh, you know why? You know why? You know why? It's because our midplane. All right, after much discussion that just happened in half a second here, I guess you could see we've got part of our base missing. And I think part of the problem here was that we thought we had the wrong dimension for our base here, right? So if we take a look at this sketch, edit the sketch there, we thought we had the wrong dimension based on the dimensions of the offset features and the boss extrudes and whatever. We thought it should be 2, but it's actually 225. And also, the way that we